Imagine spending 60, 70, even $80,000 on a brand new SUV, only to realize 6 months later that you made a huge mistake. The ads looked perfect, the reviews sounded confident, and the dealership promised reliability, comfort, and peace of mind. But once the honeymoon phase ends, the problems start showing up. Quietly at first, then all at once. Today, we're exposing the SUVs you should seriously think twice about buying in 2026, because behind the luxury badges, aggressive designs, and high-tech screens, some of these vehicles are hiding issues buyers are already regretting. Let's be clear, this isn't about hating brands or stirring drama. This is about real ownership concerns, real-world reliability, and long-term value. Some of these SUVs look incredible in a showroom, but living with them day after day tells a very different story. One of the biggest red flags we're seeing across several 2026 SUVs is overcomplicated technology. Automakers are racing to add massive curved displays, touch-only controls, AI-based assistance, and software-driven features that sound futuristic but often feel unfinished. Owners are reporting laggy infotainment systems, random screen freezes, and features that stop working after software updates. When your climate controls, drive modes, and even basic settings are buried inside a glitchy touchscreen, it quickly turns convenience into frustration. In cold weather, hot weather, or long road trips, these systems don't just annoy you, they distract you. Another growing issue is reliability taking a back seat to design. Some SUVs launching in 2026 prioritize bold styling and aggressive proportions, but sacrifice long-term durability. Thin paint, sensitive sensors, and fragile trim pieces are becoming more common. Buyers are noticing premature interior wear, squeaky cabins, and exterior components that don't age well after just a year or two. Luxury should feel solid. If doors feel light, panels flex, or materials start looking tired early on, that's a warning sign. Then there's the problem of powertrains that look good on paper but disappoint in real life. Several SUVs promise impressive horsepower numbers or electrified performance, yet struggle with smooth power delivery. Some turbocharged engines feel strained under load, especially when the SUV is fully packed with passengers or cargo. Others suffer from hesitation, rough shifting, or unpredictable acceleration. In daily driving, that lack of refinement becomes obvious and annoying. Worse, complex transmissions and hybrid systems raise long-term maintenance costs, especially once warranties expire. Fuel economy is another area where expectations and reality don't always match. Many 2026 SUVs advertise strong efficiency numbers, but those figures often fall apart in real-world driving. Heavy bodies, large wheels, and aggressive all-wheel drive systems cancel out any gains made by smaller engines or hybrid assistance. Owners expecting fuel savings end up visiting gas stations more often than expected, especially in city driving or stop-and-go traffic. Comfort is also becoming surprisingly inconsistent in this segment. Some SUVs look spacious but fail to deliver real comfort on long drives. Firm seats, awkward driving positions, and limited adjustability are common complaints. Third-row seating in particular is often marketed aggressively, but feels cramped and uncomfortable for adults. If an SUV is sold as family-friendly but struggles to comfortably carry real people for real distances, that's a major problem. Noise levels are another overlooked issue. Several 2026 SUVs allow too much road noise, wind noise, or tire roar into the cabin, something you don't notice during a short test drive. At highway speeds, especially on rough pavement, the lack of proper sound insulation becomes obvious. For vehicles marketed as premium or near luxury, this is unacceptable and quickly leads to buyer regret. Now let's talk about reliability reputation versus reality. Some SUVs come from brands with strong names, but newer models don't always live up to that legacy. New platforms, new engines, and first-generation technology often mean early production issues. Owners are reporting frequent warning lights, sensor failures, and electrical gremlins. Even when these problems are covered under warranty, repeated dealer visits kill the ownership experience. Time is money, and no one wants to keep dropping off a brand new SUV at the service center. Resale value is another silent killer. Certain SUVs lose value much faster than buyers expect. Rapid depreciation hits especially hard when competitors offer better reliability or when a newer facelift arrives quickly. In just 2 or 3 years, some 2026 SUVs may be worth far less than owners planned, making trade-ins painful and leases less attractive. If a vehicle doesn't hold value, it's costing you money even when everything seems fine. Safety tech is also becoming a double-edged sword. While advanced driver assistance systems are meant to help, poorly tuned systems do the opposite. Overly sensitive lane keeping, abrupt braking alerts, and constant warnings can turn driving into a stressful experience. Some drivers end up turning these features off entirely, which defeats the purpose of paying for them in the first place. What's especially frustrating is that many of these issues don't show up in early reviews. Press drives are short, roads are perfect, and vehicles are carefully prepared. Real ownership tells the truth months later. That's why buyers jumping in early on certain 2026 SUVs are effectively becoming beta testers. So what should smart buyers do instead? First, slow down. Don't rush to buy the latest model just because it's new or trending. Look at long-term ownership reports, not just launch reviews. Pay attention to forums, recall history, and real customer feedback. Second, prioritize proven reliability over flashy features. A simpler SUV that works every day will always beat a tech-heavy one that constantly frustrates you. Third, test drive longer if possible. Drive on highways, rough roads, and in traffic. Listen carefully. Feel how the vehicle behaves when pushed. The truth is, not all SUVs in 2026 are bad, but some are simply not worth your hard-earned money. They promise luxury, performance, and innovation, but deliver stress, unexpected costs, and disappointment. Being informed is the difference between loving your SUV for years and regretting the purchase every time you start the engine. If this video saved you from making a costly mistake, you're already ahead of most buyers. And if you're planning to shop for an SUV soon, stay tuned because knowing what to avoid is just as important as knowing what to buy.